Hey GlassGang, thanks for tuning in. This stream will start soon. Hey GlassGang, thanks for tuning in. Today I'm playing on PC and I'll be doing bounty hunts with viewers live like I did last night on Xbox, but on PC. I have around 30 or so bounty hunts, bounty posters, wanted posters. And I'm sure some people will probably start launching them when I start launching them in the lobby as well, so we should be in it for a good grind. If you want to join this stream, you can. You can join my team, join my world. Shout out to Not a Alien, RUV Chaos, King Shots 89, Heisenberg Finn, and Bernadine 68 for joining the stream early. GG. Thank you for having notifications on, everyone, and being here. I hope you're having a wonderful day in the wasteland. And let me know, have you been lucky? Have you gotten any of the new mods yet? Like, can you craft them? Have you unlocked crafting for them? Have you been getting them as drops and scrapping them? Howdy, Finn. Welcome to the team and welcome to the stream. It's good to have you aboard. As always, don't be shy. Hit like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications so you never miss an upload. Or live stream. I upload and live stream weekly. Oh, neat. Finn got the new outfit. Love it. The Pringles can outfit. It's so cute. Nice. The little mustache. Yep, so we're gonna be doing some bounties. I need to pull out my wanted posters here. And tonight I'll be playing on PlayStation. I'll be doing the same thing. I don't have anywhere near as many wanted posters saved up. But I do have some saved up, so it'll be a good start. And then I can just run wanted grunt hunts. Maybe do some raids with viewers. But that'll be later tonight on PlayStation. At my usual stream time of 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I decided to stream earlier today to stream PC and get these bounties done, because I've been hoarding them and I'm so anxious to run them. I'm going to ask a question in the chat. It'll be a poll, and I'm going to ask you, have you unlocked any new mods? Let me know. Have you unlocked any of the new legendary mods yet? Yes or no? I forgot to launch the flare. Colt the Bolt is down. And Deranged Hunter is also down. Cool. That was an easy one. Someone unlocked Lucid. Someone else says they unlocked Adrenal. Someone else unlocked Adrenal. And another person unlocked Feral. Interesting. I haven't unlocked any on any platform. It's been really tough out there. I'd like to unlock Elementalist, Lucid, and Active. That would be super cool. Kind of disappointing. Done too many hunts and only got 3 of them unlocked. Yeah, it's super low RNG. It's annoying for that. We'll get the new mods someday. Maybe next year. Someone launched a headhunt. Cool. Hi, Miss Glass. On your Soul of Snake build, Elders Mark, why did you choose the 2nd star Endurance star? Yeah, so for the armor set, the reason why I do that is because it's a non-PA build. and it needs to get the most it can out of tankiness from the armor. And having that +2 endurance on the armor is really just going to give us high endurance on the build. And with perk cards in endurance, if we look at them, this one scales off of your endurance, gain more max HP, that's health points per point in endurance. Also, natural resistance also scales off endurance. This will directly impact your poison resistance at the snake boss. And it makes it a pretty good difference. When you're non-PA, it's very noticeable, you're very tanky. So you want that to scale off of high endurance. Also, Thirst Quencher gives you high max AP based on endurance. That means as you're adding +2 endurance to your armor, you're directly increasing your max AP. Yeah, so lots of cards scale off of endurance, and I did explain that in the video, but maybe I should have gone over it a little bit more. But at the special perks section, I do talk about how they scale off of endurance, and it's why I have +2 endurance on the armor. It's important for the poison resistance and the higher max AP mainly. And the health points, you get a lot more health points too. You get around 100 extra HP points, so. Let's see how much it's impacting my max AP. So I have 338 max AP. I don't have the active build running right now on my PC character, so keep that in mind. I'm just running my typical non-active human elders. And if we remove Thirst Quencher, look, this one also scales off your endurance, gain limb damage reduction. So yeah, most of the cards in endurance scale off of endurance, the ones that I have on this build. But if we remove Thirst Quencher, we go from 338 to 247 max AP. So it makes a significant difference having it. And the same thing happens with your health. If we look at my health points, I have 465 health points right now. So we're going to remove Life Giver. And we're now down from 465 to 328. So it scales all your resistances and your HP, your max AP, and it does a lot for you, that +2 endurance on the armor. It really does. Don't overlook it. Working on 1,000 grunt hunts, and I learned 5 new plans, 0 active mods. 1,000 is diabolical. Good luck with that. I hope you make it there. I hope you reach that goal. That's a pretty awesome goal. I would not be able to, I don't think. Can't wait to learn active. I have 5 set aside for the armor update. Same with the elementalist. Nice. GG King Shot. It's good to be prepared for that update. There's going to be a lot changing about the armor calculations, and how damage resistance is calculated, which is going to just widen the gap between power armor and non-PA even more. I don't think it'll even be possible to do my non-PA snake builds anymore, which really is a huge bummer. Just another playstyle we lost to them balancing quote-unquote things. We'll see though. Maybe I'm just like dooming and glooming for nothing, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a wreck for these non-PA builds solo. You'll still be able to go down to the snake, you know, without power armor. On a team, you're much tankier, but it'll be tough. But solo Solo, not so much. It won't be a good time. I'll do what I can, though, to make it work, but I can't make magic. It looks like we're all going to be forced back into power armor. As the narrowing of the meta continues. Yeah, no worries. Anytime, Mike Peets. That's why I do the live streams, to answer questions on current build guides on the channel and stuff like that. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Sometimes I don't go over things enough in the build videos because I think or assume people kind of realize what I'm doing and why I'm doing it on some things. So I totally don't mind answering any questions about any guide. We got a LUCID bullets explode Gatling gun. This will get this scrap, and we didn't learn. Not surprised. The drop rates are crazy. %73% say yes, they have learned something. That's crazy. So I'm just the only one over here not learning anything on any platform. They must have turned it off for me. They must hate me. They're like, no, Miss Glass, no, we can't let her get the new mods. We can't let her make build guides and make them look OP. Well, let's turn off the learn rate for Miss Glass. I hope not. I hope that's not what happened. And this is what really kind of sucks about doing build guides, is a lot of times from season to season, patch to patch, we lose a lot of builds to them balancing things. We lose builds. And people want me to update old guides that just aren't possible anymore, you know? And it hurts to have to say that because there's nothing I can do about it when that happens. Sometimes a build guide can't be resurrected. It can't be used anymore. It can't be updated. You know what I mean? So it's sad, but I think I'm about to lose my Elder's Mark non-power armor build. to balancing. We're gonna have to go back to power armor. Heavy gunner builds. It's not a bad thing. It's just, this was a nice new kind of playstyle for me, so. This build will still work great, like outside the raids. It's just solo for snake bossing. It's gonna take so much poison damage with the changes to the armor calculations, but I'm hoping when the elementalist change comes that it's enough to make a difference at that part of the raid. We'll see what happens. But elementalist is getting buffed, so I hope I can do something, some magic. If I have to even like slam endurance buffs to get my endurance through the roof, to have like super high max HP just to tank like crazy, I will do it. I will do all of the HP and endurance buffs that stack to get my build back. I don't think many people will want to do that, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Empty my clip. Me and my friends have been going to the Rusty Pick to learn box mods. That's one way to do it, but the new mods aren't there. The new mods, the new legendary mods that were added to the game December 2, they're not at the Rusty Pick. They only drop from bounty hunts and grunts. So you're not going to learn any of the new ones that way. But you can learn like all of the base ones, the base game ones. I find servers make more of a difference to learn anything else. Did you just learn a mod? No, I received a box mod actually. And it was one of these two. So yeah, I didn't learn anything. It's unfortunate. Someday I'll unlock a new mod for crafting for it, and I'm gonna lose my pants. My McFluffy pants. And I'm probably gonna scream into the mic and clip the mic. And like, you know, destroy people's eardrums that are using headphones. So that's just a warning. Because I have been containing my anticipation since December 2. Containing my excitement. It's been difficult. But at some point, the game has to let me unlock one of these new mods on some platform, somewhere. That's true. Scrapping the mods themselves have a higher learning chance. But I don't have a way to craft them or lots of them to scrap them. You know what I mean? So I'm just relying on them dropping on stuff since I can't craft it yet. And they don't drop as a box mod. They only drop on legendary items, which you then have to scrap. So, but yeah, if you like wanted to learn overeaters, your best thing would be to craft a bunch of overeaters and then just sit there and scrap them all until you learn overeaters. Let's see if I have like a bunch of mods of one of the new mods. I hate doing it, but might be the only way. No, I only have 5 active. I can't just scrap my only 5 active. That's all I got. I have 1 Ferals mod. Yeah, I can't scrap that. Can't do it! It's a good tip, though. It's a pro tip. It's a good tip. Yeah, you can add me. Exocoms. I left my gamer tag in the description so that it's easier to see how it's spelled or whatever, if it's hard to see on screen. But it's xMsGLASSx on PC. 2 X's if you're adding me on console. I have the same gamer tag on PlayStation and Xbox. It's Miss Glass, but with 2 X's on the end. But you can add me. Bounty hunts are so easy, you just show up. They complete themselves. Don't forget to smash like. It helps this stream get out there to viewers who may have missed the stream notification. GG. User ID 8YD4HC5B. Thank you for joining the GlassGang membership. GG. You now have access to GlassGang only content and will see your name on the official GlassGang roster. And you'll see that you have GlassGang and Fallout themed emojis in the chat that you can use. Something went wrong. While confirming a new teammate, please try again or contact Bethesda customer support. What the heck? That's so weird. Correct. Welcome to the GlassGang. Also left our Discord link in the description if you want to join a community to play with. We have members that play on every platform. I play on every platform, and you'll find me there too if you need to ask questions about the build guides or anything. It's free to join, link in the description. No obligation to join the official GlassGang. But if you do have GlassGang membership and you link your YouTube and Discord account in the connections under settings in Discord, you'll have the blue membership role, the blue GlassGang member role. GG. Yeah, right. Call customer service and let them know, hey, the game could not confirm a teammate on my team and it told me to call you guys. Like, how silly is that? I'm just laughing about it, you know what I mean? I'm agreeing with you. It's kind of silly. It's kind of very silly. Get spanked. Use my 10 mil for a little bit. This is my favorite. My favorite 10 mil, my favorite pistol besides the Dom Pedro. I do have a Dom Pedro. It is pretty cool. It's good. I use the quad crippling swift pinpointers legendary mods, and it works really well. But this is my 10 mil. Quad rapid VATS optimized conductors. And you'll notice it has an AP cost of 2. Whoops. The Discord window. I'm so sorry, gang. You guys are like crying in the chat like, hey, no, the window, the Discord. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, chat. I'll pay more attention to that. So I guess you probably didn't get to see my Dom Pedro. That's my Dom Pedro. You unlock snipers? That's awesome, Finn. GG. And this is my 10 mil. I love this thing. It has an AP cost of 2. It absolutely wrecks. I call it AP Factory because it builds more AP than it uses. So if I jetpack and I'm using this thing at the same time, I can jetpack a little further. It's kind of weird. It's funny. It's very strange. It's a strange phenomenon. But yeah, I'll show it to you guys. It builds AP as I'm using it instead of wasting it because it generates more AP than it uses. We'll have to go to another bounty. I could probably find some enemies at the Rust Kingdom real quick though. Does the Elder's Mark raid build work against ENO6? It does work against ENO6, but it's not something that I use for soloing at ENO6, mainly because there's a big difference between being in power armor and not being in power armor at ENO6. The difference is you do 200% more reflective damage. So you should not be non-PA at ENO6. If you are, you're just like wasting time. You don't want to be non-PA at ENO6. If you're playing with others and they're in power armor and you're not in power armor, you need to hide behind a wall because you're going to make it slower for everyone else. If he targets you, then you get 200% less reflective damage than if he targets someone in power armor, which means the shield goes down significantly faster when you're in power armor, just from reflective damage alone. Now, where it still works, it's not completely busted. You can still take down the shield, but not solo. Non-PA, not solo, you're looking at 2 minutes before the shield goes down, which adds way too much time. You might as well just jump in power armor. It's that simple. But no, it is a purpose-built snake farming build for farming the snake and just being like full-on lazy about it, not having to run power armor or worry about fusion cores or even chems or coffee. It's for the snake. It's fine-tuned for that. I do have build guides that are dedicated for running ENO6. Can you run it through the whole raid? Absolutely. I run it on stream all the time through the full raid. My Human Elder's Mark Snake Commando build. And how I operate it at ENO6 is if someone else is with me and they're in power armor, that's the only time I'll be doing ENO6 on that build, is if someone else is in power armor and they're on the team. Because as ENO6 turns to them and focuses on them, they'll get better reflective damage than me off the bat. And I can target the shield. I can target the shield when he has his back turned to me, and that's where I can do the most amount of damage to his shield and actually do something about it. You know what I mean? Because if you're non-PA, I'm going to repeat this. If you're in non-PA and you're in there with people in power armor, you really should just hide behind the wall because you're doing everyone a disservice if you're not. It's going to take longer because you're not hiding behind the wall. it's going to take longer because if ENO6 focuses on you and you're not in power armor, that's automatically 200% less reflective damage hitting his shield. So the shield comes down slower. It takes like 3 to 5 business days when you're not in power armor to drop the shield. So don't do it. Don't be that guy. Don't show up at ENO6 non-PA. And if you are, hide behind a wall. And only come out when his back is turned to you. Otherwise, you just make it longer for everyone else who are in power armor. You can't shoot Grandmaster Wu. You can't shoot the shield through the front of ENO6. So, like right off the bat. That's why I don't recommend soloing ENO6 solo without power armor, because we use the reflective tactic to get the shield down through reflective damage. And you're not doing anything special about that. You know what I mean? It's just a game mechanic. It's just how it works. You can't target the shield through the front of ENO6. So I don't tell people to play like that, because that's just the wrong way to play. You can play a lot easier and not cause it to be taking longer for anyone else. You can play the right way or you can play the wrong way, basically, at ENO6. There's 2 strategies at ENO6, and that's one of them. Reflective damage is the best one for taking down the shield right now. It's the best tactic for taking down the shield. Yeah, and you're probably right, Exocomms. He says, to be fair, there's probably not really a wrong way, just a more convenient way. The thing is he's right. There's no wrong way to play. You can play how you want, however is fun for you. As long as you're having fun, right? That's what counts. That's what play is about. But yeah, my optimized ENO6 guides run power armor for that reason. You have 200% more reflective damage. So for people who want to get the fastest times on ENO6, that's the way to do it. It's cut and dry. Works flawlessly. Single stage runs every time. Sub-minute times every time. It's a no bueno. But yeah, as you can see, this thing just makes AP. I'm using it in VATS and it is just creating AP. It's not running out of AP. It's not even using it. It's really good for that. It's the sidearm that I use on my Elder's Mark build. It works with the same perks, so there's nothing about the build that needs to be swapped out to make this work. And it's just a good little sidearm. How do people get like 60 in their special stats? Yeah, so that's from stacking buffs. You can stack food buffs that stack together. Not all food buffs stack together, but you can like look them up on Google to find out which ones do. And this is all documented. It's all out there. There's people like Cat Duchess Flame and stuff that have websites dedicated to, you know, the buffs and how they stack and what their effects are, and that's how you do that. That's how you can maximize your stats. At one point I had made a 1000 max AP build a year ago, and that's how I was able to achieve that, by maximizing all of my stats in agility and then doing a bunch of AP and agility buffs that stack together, meats and also herbivore foods. So I had to pop mutations to run a raw mutation build that has suppressed mutations, so that I can run herbivore and carnivore foods to reach 1000 max AP. This was at a time before we had conductors, so it was really the only way to like actually run your heavy gun and VATS without coffee, was to have really, really, really high max AP. We don't need to do that anymore. But that's how people get those really high stats, is through food buffs. There's like brain bombs, cranberry relish, stuff like that that all increases intelligence. Brain fungus soup increases intelligence also. But yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot you can do that stacks together. Finn is right too. Using unyielding is another one. Just being bloodied and slapping on 5 pieces of unyielding. GG Elf this demon, GG. I would love to get a new mod unlocked though on stream. That would be so cool. I mean, I have pretty good luck on stream at Fashnat, but I don't have luck here doing this, which is crazy because I can do it as much as I want. How does this seem to have like a lower drop chance than Fashnat masks? What is going on? Make it make sense. 360 no scope. See, got him. Actually didn't get him, someone else got him. What do you think is best for the Elder's Mark? Yeah, so like I've talked about this a lot, and I talk about it on almost every day at this point. I get asked this question every day on stream, and it's okay. A lot of people don't know why I prefer quad on the Elder's Mark over Furious. It's probably my fault. Maybe I need to like elaborate that more on the guides. But let me just show you, okay? When I reload this Elder's Mark, I have 200 rounds in the magazine. And that's because it has quad. If we go to my 2-shot spray and pray, this one has 2-shot, which is no different really in base capacity, magazine capacity than Furious. Which brings us back to 50 rounds in the magazine. That's not a lot of bullets. What ends up happening is you can't build bullet storm very high. I'm building it a lot faster than Furious would because I'm running 2-shot, which is shooting double the projectiles, which is even allowing us to reach 2 bullet storm stacks on reload. Yeah, if I put this to Furious, you're basically never gonna build bullet storm. Although you're getting 9 extra stacks of onslaught. The problem is that the base damage is so low on the Elder's Mark that it barely makes a difference, and the 180% damage that you get out of Bullet Storm makes a more significant impact, especially when bossing, especially when you factor in that I don't have to reload 4 times as much as you. You have to reload 4 times more than I do during a fight. When you're reloading, you're not doing DPS, you're not getting quicker kill times. So your TTK gets lowered because it's basically like this. Think of it this way. If you were to open a garden hose and fill a bucket of water and close it, and every 5 seconds you open it again for 5 seconds and then you close it for 5 seconds. Versus if I'm able to just open the garden hose and let it fill the bucket for 25 seconds and then close it for 5 seconds because I still get the same reload speed, but then I'm opening it for 25 seconds again. Which method do you think fills the bucket faster? Just being able to hold the trigger and not have to reload significantly drops DPS, drops TTK, time to kill. It increases DPS drastically because you're just shooting the whole time, and when you're not shooting, you're not doing damage. So Furious will feel better on impact from a start without having full bullet storm, but believe me, when you have that 20 stacks bullet storm, it is impressive how powerful this thing is. It's getting 47 second times on the snake with quad. You can't do that with Furious. You won't get 47 second times at Furious because you're reloading, and you're reloading 4 times more. It does look like it does more damage on paper when you look at Furious adding the onslaught stacks, but it just doesn't. You just do more DPS. It's like it runs out of gas. The Furious runs out of gas versus the Elder's Mark with quad having a full tank still. It just can't keep up. It's good for outside the raids, but anything bossing, you really want to run quad so that you can stay in it and just do a lot of damage. But also just the fact that it can't reach the full max value, right? Like if we look at this, I'm already at 5 bullet storm stacks. Now these 2 guns don't have the same damage modifiers, so but let's just have a look. Okay, so we got no bullet storm stacks. And this one is at 74, but it's by 2. Yeah, okay. Let's go back. Let's have a more accurate comparison. You're totally welcome, Prince Grimm 1947. Happy to answer the question. And if there's any other questions, don't be shy. Another thing too is I like to run my Ghoul version of this build with Wild West Hands, which will allow the weapon to reload on its own without losing bullet storm. What that means for the quad Elder's Mark is how the Furious can't reach 20 stacks of Bulletstorm. It can't even reach that to begin with. It can't even reach more than 5. Let's test it. With Wild West Hands last night on stream, I got it to proc 4 times in a row, which means I went through 800 rounds without reloading. So yeah, look, I can't reach more than 2 Bulletstorm stacks. So there's 2. We're at 103 damage on the weapon. We should go to the bounty hunt. And then I'm going to stack Bulletstorm stacks as much as I can with the quad to show you what the base damage looks like on the quad with the higher Bulletstorm. Now you still have to factor in the 9 extra stacks of onslaught damage that the Furious has, but the problem is with it reloading so much, you're not doing damage when you're reloading, and that negatively impacts you. It basically washes away that extra damage you're doing. So I'm just going to start dumping rounds. We'll see where we can reach. But we're already higher. Whoops, hopefully these people don't shoot back. I'm doing an experiment. So, okay, so after 1 reload, we are at 10 stacks of Bulletstorm. And we drop down to 5. But I can keep going and keep building this up because of the way it works out with the reloads. And if you have Wild West Hands or Quick Hands on the build, you can reach the full 20 stack value. I'm running out of bullets though, so I can't do that. You can't do that without bullets. It's Bulletstorm, not bullet magic. So we're going to dump some more rounds and see what it looks like. Without Quick Hands. So without Quick Hands, I'm able to reach 10 max stacks at the end of the clip. And to reach 20 stacks, you would have to have Quick Hands on the build. There, I'm at 12 stacks, so now it reloaded and I'm down to 6. And if I keep going, it'll keep building up by 1 point like that. But it takes a lot longer than having like Quick Hands on the build. Because with Quick Hands, then it just reloads without losing the stacks. $12 stacks. Okay, well let's look at what it's at with the 6 Bulletstorm stacks. And it's at 107. So with the Furious, we're doing the same thing here. I'm just going to run a few magazines. So it appears to reach a maximum of 4 max stacks of Bulletstorm, and reloaded it drops down to 2 with Furious, bringing us to 103 damage. So that actually does count the Furious Onslaught stacks too. Interesting. I didn't think it would in that base calculation. How did you just move those intervals with the ammo? Can you do that on console? Yeah, you can. Like by grabbing an amount of something, you have to press up or down on the D-pad. This will allow you to grab a specific amount of something. So you can then click the RB button or the left bumper or right bumper on your controller, and it'll select an interval or an amount of bullets that you want to pull from the stash. Or your scrap box. It works the same with scrap, junk, ammo. I should really fix my build here though, because I'm hungry. My character needs HP, and it appears that I don't have my mutations right. Something is up. Something is up. No, okay, I'm jumping. I need to get my damage resist back. There we go. So now I'm not hungry. GG King Shots, thank you for the gifted membership. Cerberus Blaze, you now received a gifted membership. For the next 30 days, you'll have access to GlassGang only content. You'll have access to GlassGang and Fallout themed emojis in the chat. And you can join our Discord and link your accounts and have the GlassGang member role. GG. So why conductors over pinpointers? Yeah, so this one's real simple. We did some testing live on stream where we tested the build, okay? And we tried different modifications on the weapon, and we had 4 people running the exact same build with the exact same weapon, being the Elder's Mark with quad. And this is a live stream on the channel right now that you can check out for yourself after. And it's running 4 of these Elder's Marks, and you see the 4 Elder's Mark in the thumbnail, so you'll know which one it is. But in this live stream, we tested the build as is, meaning standard mods. The standard mods are really important. A lot of people overlook them and they think they can just run Prime and Anti-Armor Receiver or Prime Receiver. It would be better, they think. But no, Standard Receiver is so goated because it brings you down to an AP cost of 7. And you can just stay infinite VATS no problem, and we still get the same kill times on the Snake. We ran Prime Receiver and Pinpointers, and we got 10-second times as a team of 4. On average, we ran it over and over and over, and the average was 10 seconds. And then we went back to Conductors and Standard Receiver, and we got the same times, 10 seconds, suggesting that this weapon and setup is getting most of its damage from the build and the way the build works, rather than like little tweaks like the Prime Receiver and the Pinpointers mod. It's not significantly impacting damage because we're already doing so much damage that we're doing the amount of damage we're going to do in the short amount of time the Snake has to live while we're doing damage. So basically, Conductors is so good. It's S tier. It's giving us, with this build, with limit breaking, with the way I have it set up as per the build guide, we're getting critical hits returned every second shot. We're getting so many crits in. That's why I hold the Y button down. I'm actually going to show you my controller so you can see that. So now on the right side of the screen, you should see my controller, and you're going to see that I hold the Y button in VATS. As soon as I engage VATS, I'm holding Y button and the trigger button. This is because my build is set up to crit every other shot, and it's going to crit every other shot as long as I'm landing my shots. So you got to be close enough to the target too. You got to think of those things. But once you get a crit returned on this build, it gives you plus 10 health and action points instantly and 100 more over 5 seconds. And that's what's allowing us to stay in VATS infinitely. We're doing more infinite VATS. We're staying in VATS longer without coffee. That's the problem with pinpointers. To get those 10-second times with pinpointers, we had to spam coffee. Which means that from a meta standpoint, most effective tactics available, Conductors takes the lead here because it still gives us 10-second times without the need of coffee. We can eliminate an entire consumable and still get the same times. That's because the build is fully optimized. It's getting all its damage from the build. Infinite VATS or far longer in VATS equals more damage. That's right, Finn. Because you do more damage in VATS. You do a lot more damage. And you want to be holding that crit button down with my VATS builds. A lot of times people will say that they put my build together and it doesn't work. They're not doing the same kind of times and they're not doing the same kind of damage, or they're not staying in VATS. Every time they say that, I know it's because they're not following the tactics in the build guide. And I talk about holding the crit button down. It is super important you hold it down because you won't be able to spam it fast enough. You can't spam it. You can't just press Y when a crit is ready, because by the time you've realized that a crit is ready, you missed 4 other crit shots. It is that fast with this build because of that insane fire rate. So you have to hold your crit button down the whole time you're in VATS. But yeah, we were all really shocked to see that even prime receiver and pinpointers couldn't beat this standard receiver and conductors combination. It's so goated. Even with coffee spamming. And we ran that test over a 3-hour live stream. So you know we tested it every way from Sunday. And I urge you to check it out. It's very eye-opening. There's also cards on the build that significantly increase damage after you cripple a target, which is really important with this build. If you want to do more damage to some of these really tanky, like grunt hunt bosses or bounty hunt bosses or the snake boss, it's the same tactic. You want to cripple them first because then you get 75% more damage to crippled targets. So target one of the legs, get the cripple, you'll see the stagger, then swap to the head. You'll do so much more damage with this tactic. And after you've gotten the cripple and you swap to the head, you're going to do damage to the head because it counts as a limb. And scatter shot will then apply 20% of the damage dealt to a limb is applied to all limbs, which will further increase the crippling on the target and give you more damage through Tormentor. You deal 20% more damage per crippled limb your target has. It is so important to cripple your enemies with this build. You're going to see so much more damage out of it. And especially at the snake. It shaves off a whole minute at the snake. If you don't cripple the snake in the first 20 seconds, you're in it for a 2-minute run. That's why it's important to pre-stack your bullet storm to at least 6 or 7. And you want to do that and have like a full clip. So you want to wait until you have like it rolled over. But yeah, you do that, you get the cripple. I showed it on stream as well. To do it like that, you get the cripple real easy without buffs, without coffee, without chems. I do recommend at least blight soup though, because why are you herbivore if you're not running blight soup? It's the whole reason I went herbivore was for blight soup. It's why I know everyone who is herbivore is for blight soup. I mean, it's the easiest thing to get in bulk. You can just run over to the raids. It's practically begging you to take it. What's going on here? I can't move. My character is stuck. Okay, there we go. Speaking of blight soup, I need some, so I might as well show you guys where you can find it in bulk. It's all around the raids. There's so much of it that grows outside the raids. It's practically begging you to use it at the raids. And it gives you 100% extra crit damage when you don't have teammates on your team. But if you have teammates on your team, you get 125% extra critical attack damage. That's a lot of damage that you shouldn't be missing out on. And if you are carnivore and you say, well, I can't take advantage of that, you can actually. Let me show you. So now we have blight. And what we're going to do is craft blight soup. I don't know what you're talking about, Finn. What do you... If that 6, 7 was on purpose glass, there will be problems. What? Did I miss something? I'm not sure, but we're gonna craft some blight soup. The 6, 7 meme, I have no idea what that is, guys. I didn't post nothing like that. I have no idea what that is. Even what's 6, 7? Where did you see that? I don't see it anywhere in the chat. Did someone else post it? What am I missing? All I did was fast travel here to get blight soup. So yeah, we're gonna take some blight soup. Oh, no. Oh, okay, I'll switch it to 7 or 8 then. My bad. I get what you mean. Yeah, I have no idea what that meme reference is, so I didn't... I have no idea. But, I didn't mean that at all, no. So you want at least 7 stacks. See how I have 7 bullet storm stacks? That's what I meant. You want to start with 7 bullet storm stacks because you'll be at around 113 base damage, and this will be plenty of damage to cripple the snake if you target plate A without having to use overdrive. But see how I was able to eat this, right? So it gives us 125% critical attack damage because we currently have teammates that are mutated. Now, if you were carnivore and wanted to take advantage of this, we're going to look at it from my point of view as being herbivore and wanting to take advantage of eating something like a food buff that might be for carnivores. So let's go get carnivore food buffs. You're going to see that it shows 0, like I don't get any benefits from eating meat, right? Because I'm herbivore. But if you consume a herbivore buff as a herbivore, or herbivore mutation, I mean, it gets confusing. I know. But stick with me, it'll make sense. Let's just use this fried rad scorpion on a stick here as an example, or rad roach on a stick. See how it shows agility 0, HP 0? This is actually a really good agility buff to bring up your max AP. So if you want to look at my max AP, I have 377, and this is a meat buff. So if I eat this, it won't do anything. So let's eat it. We're still at 377 AP. Okay, now let's pop a herbivore mutation. And if you were carnivore, you would want to pop a carnivore mutation. So here's a herbivore serum. We're going to take the herbivore serum to have access to carnivore buffs. Oh yeah, I need to buy another one. So we're going to buy another one. Fried scorpion on a stick is the same buff. It's an agility buff. Fried scorpion on a stick now shows +3 agility for 1 hour because I consumed the herbivore mutation. By doing that, it suppresses the negative side effect for 1 hour. The negative side effect being that I don't gain benefits from eating meat. You won't get 100%, meaning if I was carnivore, it would say +6 agility for 1 hour. And if you're on a team that's mutated with strange in numbers, I believe that's +8 agility for 1 hour. But yeah, so this allows you to open up the spectrum of buffs a little bit more to your advantage and get higher max AP. Now I'm at 407 max AP by consuming that meat buff. And we do see it here, fried scorpion on a stick for 59 minutes +3 agility. And I'm a herbivore using carnivore buffs. So if you're carnivore thinking you can't use herbivore buffs, you totally can. You need to consume a carnivore serum once per hour. That'll give you the ability to run herbivore buffs. So yeah, just thought I'd explain that real quick because it can be a bit weird, I guess. But you should be using blight soup whether you're carnivore or herbivore. It's so readily available. Like I showed it, I was able to get blight right from a tree 20 feet away from the raid's entrance. And this entire area from like here to here to here to here is, all of this is covered in blight. Hundreds of blight spots on trees, and you can easily see them because they glow. So you just jump around and look around and you'll see them from a distance and run up to it and grab it. It's that simple. You get more crit damage. As a carnivore, you're going to get 50% more critical attack damage, which is a lot better than nothing. And as a herbivore, you'll get 100%. And if you're using strange in numbers, you'll get 75% critical attack damage as a carnivore. So keep that in mind. I sometimes forget you can suppress the negative mutation effects with the respective serums. Yes, exactly. So blight soup also compensates for less luck on the armor? No, it does not do that. How I'm able to compensate for not having luck on the armor is by having the 4-star limit breaking mod. Each worn armor piece reduces the cost of critical hits by 10%, meaning it takes 10% less luck to achieve a critical for each piece. That means on 5 pieces that add 10% each, that's minus 50% on full stack. That's the limit breaking mod for you, and it is absolutely S tier. It is top tier armor mod, 4-star mod for VATS build. If you're going to run VATS, you're going to want to be doing limit breaking. It opens up so much quality of life. You can run your armor instead of having +2 luck. You can have, you know, scaling off of endurance and really maximize those effects to min-max them and still get your critical hits every other shot. Because even if you put +2 luck on all your armor, it won't be enough to get critical hit every other shot. Without limit breaking, without critical savvy and 4-leaf clover, you need 90 luck currently. That's 90 luck in the Pip-Boy to reach a critical every other shot. You need 90 at this number. No one is running around with 90 luck, you know what I mean? You'd have to be doing all the buffs in the Wasteland. You can get away with it by running luck on all the armor pieces and using the Nuka Dark buff in combination with Happy-Go-Lucky and the Cola Nut perk card under Endurance and Charisma. Those cards combined will help reach a higher luck threshold, but you would still have to run something like Lucky Hit on your weapon, which takes up the VATS optimized slot, which means your weapon will just chew through VATS instead of having a lower AP cost, because it would take up the VATS optimized. And you would have to still run that in combination with Nuka Dark being an extra consumable. It really just helps the build be optimized to a point that you can use a lot less consumables. So to get legendary mods, you need to scrap gear. Then if the legendary mod you want drops, then you gotta scrap that and hope that luck gods let you learn it. You can scrap it to hopefully learn it, or if you want to keep that box mod, once you get it as a box mod, you can put it on anything else from that point. Did I miss a memo? Is the legendary exchange in HT disabled for anyone else? Miss Panther, I believe that's because there was a problem with a current exploit going on with people giving each other Gauss miniguns, which is a character locked item through the legendary exchange. So this happens from time to time, and they're always pretty quick to patch it, and I just hope no one gets banned this time. But, I mean, I didn't do it, so I'm all set. I don't have to worry. Would Carnivore get more popular with the armor changes? I don't think it will. I think Carnivore is really only popular for two demographics. People that either run melee, because you have a lot more strength buffs and those really impact your melee damage. And you really should be Carnivore if you're melee. And then also people who just care about carry weight and having the highest carry weight are going to be Carnivore. And neither of those things are going to be affected by the armor changes, really. Neither of those playstyles. I mean, unless you're playing non-PA as melee, then it would be. Carnivore is definitely popular. I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying it's not popular. I'm just saying, like, I don't think you have to worry about it affecting your playstyle, the armor changes. The biggest people who are affected by it are going to be non-PA commando builds and non-PA heavy gunners of the likes. Hey Orange, GG! The Orange Cowboy entered the chat. Occasionally I do Carnivore builds, but I also just rather tell people to run Herbivore and suppress your Carnivore side so you can have access to the meats. If you still want to take advantage of carry weight buffs and stuff like that, then you can still get the full value of Blight Soup and have like really high crit damage. But either way is okay to play. You're still gonna do good damage. Just not as good as a Herbivore for ranged. It's not at all the same case if you're playing melee. If you're playing melee, Carnivore is definitely doing a lot more damage. I love carnivore for free camp foods and carry weight. I agree, Finn. It's pretty cool for that. Can't beat the XP buffs from herbivores, though. That's also very true. We do have the best intelligence buffs on the market. Headhunt, let's go. GG, Vertigun. There you go. See, Finn gets it. He says, I just pop a carnivore serum when raiding for blight soup. I don't need XP food. He gets it. He's a responsible carnivore. Making sure he's still doing ample amounts of damage. I will say carnivores have way better XP buffs though, and that's how I used to play. I used to play carnivore just because of how good the max AP buffs were at bringing up your AP. You can easily push 7, 8, 900 AP as a carnivore. I could probably go back to that for a bit. Where do you get the recipe for blight soup? That's a good question. I can't remember, to be honest, but I did get it recently on one character, and I remember thinking, wow, that's how you get blight soup? And I honestly can't remember how that happened. I think it was from... I don't know. I want to say a workshop. I don't know. Heisenberg Finn says, pick up one blight and you learn it. Oh, cool. I didn't even know that. Interesting. Maybe that's how that's happened. You just want to grab blight. I don't see it in my cooking station. You need to make sure you have blight and boiled water or it won't appear. Because you need to have boiled water to be able to craft it. Another box mod drop. Still no new mods. So yeah, I'm farming bounty hunts on PC right now. We're gonna be on PlayStation later tonight. You won't want to miss it. And then Sunday we'll be back on Xbox. A full day of bounty hunting. This fine Saturday. Xbox, I'll be on Xbox Sunday all day. All day. Recipe is a bit annoying. Must have boiled water because purified water isn't good enough for the recipe. Yeah, I might have to do with, I don't know, the water being boiled. But anyways, you do have the water boiler at your camp that you can get for your camp. I mean, GFOs. So if you get that for your camp, then it's no problem. You'll always have boiled water on you. You just go to your camp resource and grab boiled water out of the thing. You can get it from the one guy over here at Foundation. The water boiler is what it's called. But yeah, you definitely need to boil water for it if you don't have the water boiler. Is it this guy? I probably don't have high enough reputation to see it yet. I'm pretty sure it's this guy. Brewing vat? No, it's not that. What do you think, guys? Samuel? Yeah, so it is him. So yeah, I just probably just don't have enough reputation with them yet or something. Yeah. I don't have the little check mark next to them. But yeah, he has it. He has the water boiler. I'm gonna go close my window because there's a tractor in my backyard. Okay, well I'm gonna scrap this LUCID mod and hope that I get it learned. Hopefully, maybe not. Let's see. Oh no! Bye. Nope. Nothing. R.I.P. little Lucid mod. It's sad but true. I didn't get it. This guy sells overdrive sometimes. I've seen up to 4 overdrive in here.
This place is a dump. At least it's ours. Getting too much rust on my lungs. I really hate those damn raiders. They would leave us the hell.
Can I please see your armor again, Glass? Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see it. I'm gonna give us a good dark backdrop here so you can easily read. Do something like this. Currently on this character on PC, I'm using the civil engineer build. So this is what I main here because this is a pretty relatively new character I started like half a year ago. And I just play from time to time. It's not my main character. I'm aiming for it to be my main character at the end of it. But, so yeah, I got Civil Engineer because it's a lot easier to get than Secret Service. And I've been running it for about 800 levels now. It was the first armor set I put together, but it's based off of the Secret Service build that I run on my main character on Xbox. Using the Overeaters +2 endurance through Hikers, a limit breaking build. All except for the chest piece having powered. I use powered in one company team. It gives me all the AP regen I need. The rest have +2 endurance. And for under armor, I'm using these shielded Raider leathers. +3 perception, +3 agility, and +1 luck. With this build, with the shielded Raider leathers, with limit breaking and all that, it means that I'm good. I can have 15 luck and I'll crit every other shot with this build with crit savvy rank 3, 4 leaf clover, and 5 pieces of limit breaking. I only need 15 luck. I'm sitting at 18 luck while on a team, and it just means that I can crit every other shot. You know, like even if I jump off of a team, I'm 1 point shy of it, but then if I get on a team, which you would at least want to do, I'm at 17 with no mutated teammates. And that's how I run it. I run the build on a team, even if there's no teammates. So I'm going to rejoin my team here, and I get that extra 18 luck. I should probably use my Dom Pager a little bit. Oh, that could be fun. I think I forgot to launch the flare again. Oh, someone did it. Okay, good, good. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I live stream and upload weekly. GG gang, thank you so much. It helps the stream get out there to viewers who may have missed the stream notification. How are the wingmen more tanky? Make that make sense. Crafting unlock asbestos lining. Yeah. Get me going for nothing. Any tips for running the V63 carbine? Tried second star explosive and explosive perk card. Didn't feel a whole lot of damage. I do have a build on the channel going over that weapon. I haven't touched it in a while, but the build is, or was doing really good damage. If you want to check it out. I'll link it here to you. Yeah, I posted it not long ago, so it should still be mostly okay. The build should still work, is what I'm saying. That's the link to my V63 carbine rifle build I used to solo the EN06 Guardian. Hey Glass, what platform are you streaming on? Today I'm on I'm on PC right now. I'm on my personal computer. Hey, spend 720 GG. Like, watch this thing. It just does not take any AP. You can run this thing all day in VATS. It just creates AP. Oh, I'm out of bullets now. $5,000 cap 4-star mods in your shop? Holy cow! Well, okay, let me go see your shop then, King Shots. Are you in my world? You are. Okay, where's your camp? Right here. How did I luck out? How did I look at the first camp and it's his camp? We're going. Say less. A nice camp. Very nice. We'll take a look here in a minute. What do we got? What could we buy? Holy crap! Limit breaking and everything. Are you kidding me? Well, I can buy one. Don't mind if I do. Thank you. It's awfully nice of you. Let me just raid your kitchen. That's awfully nice of me. Survival of the fittest. Beautiful camp. I love it. It's very cute. Oh, I see what you did here. That's neat. That's a cute idea. It's like registers or something for your... Yeah, I see it. Nice. My guy over here with the Florida home. All fancy. Meanwhile, I live in a dirty old Abraxo unit. Where did he get his money? I love this vintage punch card machine. I haven't placed it at my camp yet, which reminds me I have to go do. Love the build though. Love this camp. Look at all these food buffs. Oh, there's another one for max AP. Increased max AP from cooked soft shell meat. Do we still have herbivore suppressed? We do. So we can eat cooked soft shell meat. So this will give us max AP by plus 20. So it's like slapping on an active mod. We're at 391. We're going to eat the cooked soft shell meat and get up to 411. It also stacks with other food buffs that increase max AP as well. So another one that increases max AP is pemmican through endurance if you have, what's it called? Thirst quencher, I think, on the build. And then just doing stuff like the exercise bike will also indirectly affect your AP through thirst quencher. Another headhunt. It is time to go kick some butt. Can you show me your build? If you're talking about my character build, yes, absolutely. We'll do that in a moment. I'll do a full build breakdown after this bounty hunt. See where we went from 411 to 418 max AP just by jumping on this bike. So, yeah, do all your buffs, everything. Build a buff base. If you don't know what I'm talking about, a buff base is basically a base that has all of the special machines that you can place at your base, but you have a dedicated room or base that just has that. It just has character buffs, like either food buffs or special machines that give you +2 to special stats, like the speed bag that gives you +2 agility, which is another thing that increases max AP. The more AP you have, the more you can spend in VATS, and the longer you can stay in VATS, basically, is how that works. These robots, you'll want to target the torso and have Center Masochist on the build. I don't have Center Masochist, but I noticed they do take more damage when you do have Center Masochist and you target their torso. I just don't have it on this build right now. Because they're pretty tanky. I don't know if you noticed, but these robots are pretty tanky. We got a quad VATS hit chance, VATS charge. Handmade, that's cool. That's gonna go in the vendor. So I'll go to my base, I'll do a quick build breakdown, I'll talk about the weapon, the character, the armor set. By character I mean the special perk machine. So here we are inside of my dino gift shop. We're going to start with the build. I have 15 strength, 11 perception, 4 endurance, 3 charisma, 8 intelligence, 6 agility, and 9 luck. I have bringing the big guns. Your bullet storm stack limit is doubled. Easy target, 75% range damage to crippled targets. This is why it's really important to cripple any target you're firing at first. A lot of times you'll see me swap limbs on a target. I won't start shooting at the head first, I'll start shooting at limbs. That's to get the cripple and then swap to a weak point like the head. Because you do like almost 80% more damage that way. That's why it's really important to also get the cripple and the snake first, because it will actually shave off almost a whole minute on the snake. Bullet Storm, gain 9% damage per 30 ammo spent plus 10 max stacks. Lock and load, you keep half of your Bullet Storm stacks when you reload plus 1% reload speed per stack. 20% of the damage dealt to a limb is applied to all limbs on your target. Scatter shot, super important. Especially at the snake, you can cripple the snake twice with scatter shot. Solo. Number Cruncher, Downranger, all damage. Tormentor, you deal 20% more damage per crippled target per crippled limb your target has. And with Scattershot, after you get that first cripple and you swap to the head, for example, you'll keep doing damage to that limb, and it's going to apply 20% of the damage you're doing to that limb, which if it's the head, you're going to be doing high damage. It's going to be 20% of that damage applied to all limbs, which will lead to more crippling. And every time you cripple more, you're going to do, like you cripple another limb, you're going to do 20% more damage on top of that. So that's per crippled limb your target has. And the snake has a bunch of plates. The plates count as limbs. Tank Killer. So this gives you ranged weapons, ignore 40% armor. Skeet Shooter is something you don't really need to have with this build. This is something I was just testing around, messing around with, but you don't need this. Green Thumb, reap twice as much when harvesting flora. That's for my blight soup. Concentrated Fire, 3-star. Focus fire to gain 3% accuracy and damage per shot. Under Endurance, I have Ironclad. Armor provides 25% more protection, double when wearing a matching set. We are wearing a matching set here. We're wearing a matching set of Civil Engineer. So if you're wearing a matching set of Secret Service, and so the legendary perks don't have to match. It's just that it has to be a full set of Secret Service. It can't be like a leather arm and a heavy combat chest and a Secret Service leg. You know what I mean? It has to be a full set of something. Then the rest of the cards in Endurance are very important that you pay attention that they are based off your Endurance, because you're going to be probably asking me why later on I have +2 Endurance on my armor if you don't pay attention to this part. Increased elemental resistances based on Endurance while not diseased. That also affects the poison damage you take at the snake. It is an elemental damage. So based off of my Endurance being high, I have high poison resist. Same thing with limb damage reduction. Based off of having high Endurance, I'll have high limb damage reduction. Same thing with Life Giver. If I have high Endurance, I have high max AP and HP. I mean, the other one is Thirst Quencher. This is the one that gives you higher max AP based off of Endurance. All of these scale off of Endurance. So by having +2 Endurance on my armor set, it means I get the most out of it. I'm adding a lot to my max AP and HP. Let's have a look. I have 517 health points and 418 AP. Let's remove Thirst Quencher and Life Giver. This will drop down the points I have to 368 health points from 500 something, and 317 AP from 418 AP. So it gave me 100 more AP because I have high endurance. I'm at plus 22 endurance here on the build because of the teammates I have being mutated on the team with strange in numbers and having plus 2 endurance on all the armor. So with plus 2 endurance here as the 2nd star mod slot, the only one not having that is the chest. I have powered so that I get 5% AP regen, and I combine that with company tea. This helps me have higher AP refresh and still have a really good high AP refresh speed without having to put powered on all pieces. I feel like it's a waste of your armor perk slots. You can do a lot more with them, like scaling all your resistances, your health points, and your AP points off of endurance through perk cards in endurance. So that's what that's for. The overeaters is for damage, increased damage reduction up to 6% as you feel your hunger and thirst, but I would wait on putting this on your armor for now because it is taking a nerf in the next update. They are nerfing overeaters, and I will be switching to mutants when that happens. Through hikers and limit breaking, mutants will have a similar damage reduction to overeaters currently, so it'll be the closest thing we'll have to the same type of overeaters reduction. Limit breaking is so that I get critical hits, restore, or each one piece reduces the cost of critical hits by 10%, up to 50% on full stack, which means I just need half the luck to get a critical every other shot, which massively increases your DPS. It doubles your DPS basically. And the through hikers on the armor is nice to have because your other option most people end up running is sentinels, which really only does something for you when you're standing still. When you're moving around, it's basically just 2-star armor. You're not getting the sentinels effect when you're moving, so it's not doing anything for you. I feel like it's a waste of the armor slots as well, so that's why I urge everyone to go into through hikers, because it opens up 2 points in strength and it opens up another 2 points in endurance as well, because you don't have to run traveling pharmacy in strength and you don't have to run through hikers in endurance, which allows for further optimization, like running life giver or thirst quencher and running something like scatter shot in strength, whereas you wouldn't be able to fit it. You would have to run all of these bullet storm cards, the crippling card, and you would still be forced to run bandolier because of how much ammo weighs, and you would have to lose scatter shot and slot in traveling pharmacy if you were running sentinels. So that's why it just further optimizes the build, gives you a lot more to play with in the perk card department. So yeah, we're going to re-equip these cards. Life Giver and Thirst Quencher get our AP and HP back to 517 HP and 418 AP. Up from 300. And the last thing I should show, the last things I should show are the legendary perks. Legendary perk cards, I mean. Whoops, did not mean to unequip that. Where is that? There we go. Not that. Legendary perks. Wino active as the 3rd star. I just don't have it yet. I'm running this character, like I run 3 different characters, and I do have the build set up on my Xbox character. I do run active on that character, you know what I mean? And I could run active now, but I also have this build on the channel with active and without active. It's so that people can see that you can set it up differently. You can set it up with through hikers and not have to run active, because it's a very difficult mod to get. I did just recently get 5 active mods on this character, so I could finally swap it over to active. I made a trade with someone in our Discord, shout out to them, thank you so much, and got 5 active mods. But yeah, it's mainly just to show that you can run the build. And the Elder's Mark build I have on the channel, even without all the extra AP from active. You can still do it. But my Xbox character does run active. And at some point I'll end up running active here too. It is nice to have that chunky AP. Because when you do get misses in VATS, they don't contribute to your AP return. So you end up losing a little bit of AP here and there through misses if you're too far away from your target or if something got in the way of your line of sight. So having that extra AP just makes it, just covers you for that. I can't take the time to fix my weight problem, so I'm just going to equip Traveling Pharmacy and go to the bounty. Through Hikers mod too powerful, right, Finn? It's too OP. It can't be stopped. But that's another problem with running active, is having to drop something under strength to fit Traveling Pharmacy. I'd kind of rather tell people to run +2 agility, but then you have to sacrifice all the benefits you're getting out of having high endurance with the endurance scaling that I just talked about. Why was I stuck in there? What the heck? What a weird place to spawn. Crafting unlocked. Exterminators. Oh, of course. There goes my luck. Crafting unlocked. Ghoul Slayers. Okay. This is kind of cool. Lucid Rapid Glowing. It's all about being a ghoul ripper. Kind of neat. Undamaged cigarettes. Can put these on display. Well, I guess I'm gonna try and scrap this. Hopefully learn it. Nope. Nada. Ain't happening. Now I did forget to go over the weapon, so let's go over the weapon. Yes, you should hold off on OE. Yes, I do have this build in size Ghoul. So, the Ghoul version of this build can actually get 45-second snakes solo. It's pretty insane. Using this quad Elder's Mark exactly the way you see it. We did push it to the limit. We did run it with prime receiver and pinpointers and ran metric tons of coffee through it to keep this thing in VATS with pinpointers. And we still got 10-second times, which was the same times we were getting with conductors and standard receiver. Which is pretty awesome. It just shows that the build is fully optimized. So I'm going to link that to you in the chat. The infinite VATS Ghoul. Do you want the version with active mods, or do you want the version without active mods? I have both versions on the channel, depending on where you're at with the new mods. Just let me know, Daniel Stapleton, and I will link you the video. No, it would not. Polish would not increase the damage on the Elder's Mark, simply because the Sensual Beast, like I mentioned, if pinpointers didn't increase damage, neither will Polished. Pinpointers and Polished, they're good, but you have to run coffee in order to keep your weapon in VATS. That's the whole point of conductors. We don't need coffee with conductors. It'll just run in VATS and keep replenishing your AP enough to stay in VATS for the entirety of your magazine. And we were still getting the same times on stream, running pinpointers and prime receiver. And pinpointers does more damage than Polished. I know Polished says 60% damage at max value and pinpointers says 20% weak spot damage, but that's a weak point damage modifier and it does a lot more damage. And it's multiplicative damage versus additive damage, which is a whole nother thing in game mechanics. But yeah, pinpointers does more damage than Polished. And if pinpointers was just getting the same times as conductors on this build, it means that the build is doing the most amount of damage it will do in the short amount of time the snake has to live on the business end of this gun. That's what I'm saying. The pew pew is doing all the pew pewing it can do because the build that's backing it is absolutely bananas. And as long as you cripple the snake like you're supposed to, like I show you to do in the video guides, you're gonna do so much damage. You're gonna be so tanky. You're gonna be a tough cat. You're gonna just drop everything that's on the business end of this pew pew in a matter of seconds. It's pretty insane to think that conductors matched the 10-second times as pinpointers. Pinpointers couldn't beat it, basically. And we even put prime receiver. We even put prime receiver on the pinpointers. It had even more base damage and pinpointers. And still was 10-second times. So what I'll do is I will link that stream to the chat to put my money where my mouth is. And so you guys can see that stream for yourselves. It's an eye-opener. Don't wreck the build by putting pinpointers or Polished thinking that you're going to be doing more with it. The build is dialed in. Just watch the guide. Follow the guide. You won't have any problems. Don't veer off and do your own thing. These builds are so synergized to work off of other things that are part of it. There's things you can, like there's some things you could do quality of life wise. Like you can get away with running travel agent instead of strange in numbers if you don't run around with a team, stuff like that. But there's some really important perks you can't drop. Like you can't drop lock and load, you can't drop bullet storm, you can't drop easy target, you can't drop scatter shot. These significantly impact DPS. Same thing with number cruncher, downranger, and tormentor, significantly impact DPS. And tenderizer. The gunslinger perks again, massive DPS boost here. I'm actually missing one. I could be doing more damage here. I'm missing 5 onslaught stacks. But yeah, the build guide will have that I've just been messing around with my build the last few days. That's why I have Skeet Shooter on. That's why I have things. Because I will get a build to a certain point and I'll run it that way. And then when I see that I'm getting the same times over and over on the snake, then it's good to go. It's getting consistent times. I'll make a build guide around that. And then I keep tweaking it more after that point until I either find something better or, you know, I never stop messing around with it. Or I change up my playstyle completely. We're matching backpacks. That's awesome, King Shots. Active, please. Okay, active mod it is. In that build guide, I'm also using the new Elementalist and Lucid mods. You can get away with not running the Elementalist if you want to run Endurance instead or Agility instead for higher max HP or higher max AP. I would go with probably Agility since you're going to do active. It'll really, really bump those max AP numbers up. Or you can mix it with +2 endurance and +2 agility. But if you have an elementalist, then I urge you to do that because it's getting a buff soon. And it's going to be so good. But yeah, it's a brand new mod, so it's kind of hard. That build uses 3 brand new mods: Lucid, Elementalist, and Active. I also have the same version on the channel that only uses Lucid. If you guys want a link to that one as well, I can link it in the description after the stream is over. But basically, it just uses Lucid. And I believe it's +2 endurance and through hikers. It's the Ghoul version if you were to only unlock Lucid and wanted to run a Lucid Ghoul like this. So I covered it a few different ways. I tried to think of all the possible ways you guys might be running it and where you might be with your unlocks and stuff. Did I link the human one as well? Did I miss it? Let me see. I probably didn't. Let me link it. Here we go. Here it is. So that's the human infinite VATS commando that uses active mods. I also did a version that does not use active in case you don't have active. That's actually the version I'm running currently on stream on this character. If you need that video linked, let me know. Level 65 just eating bodies off the ground. Is Bloodied Commando not meta these days then? Correct, it's not. Mainly because there's so many damage modifiers that have been added to the game that high health players can take advantage of and still close the gap between high health and bloodied damage wise and DPS wise, where we don't have to sacrifice 80% of our health anymore to do the high damage. The only reason you would play Unyielding Bloodied these days is for the higher XP gain through Unyielding armor. But yeah, no, we get a lot of damage these days through other means, like 180% more damage through Bullet Storm and stuff like Pinpointers and Rangers and Limit Breaking. Limit Breaking especially, because that was the thing. The reason why you wanted to go with Unyielding back in the day was because the luck threshold was really hard to reach without Unyielding armor, and you needed plus 33 luck to reach it, and it was easier to do that low health to crit every other shot. But now we have Limit Breaking, which means we can crit every other shot without Unyielding. It is especially not meta in the raids. It's very tough to survive the raids bloodied. Is evasive and agility needed, or could I trade that for gun fu for daily driving? You mentioned some perks are mandatory. Yes, so some you can. And you can do that, but evasive is a really good one to just evade damage. But you could drop Pack and Light for Gunfu. I do have a 1-star Gunfu here, but this is a build that I've been tweaking a bit here, and it's not actually set up right. So don't use this one as your blueprint. Use the video that I linked to, because that one is correct. Basically what I'm saying is I'm missing some points in agility here, and I remember I was doing that because I was maxing out my perception and just trying some stuff with Skeet Shooter. And I was trying to raise my damage, my DPS at a far range, closer to what it would be like using a Ghoul with that perk under perception. I can't remember what it's called. Eye of the Hunter, I think. I was trying to get some performance like that out of it, but it just didn't work out. Anyways, I had to move some points out of agility. Typically, you would want to have Gorilla Master, even though it's a close range perk. It adds 5 onslaught stacks, which is just more damage right off the bat, whether or not you're close range fighting. So this is one that you want to make sure is on the build. So I need to tweak this build again and fit that back in there. I could drop Gunsmith. I could do that. There we go. Bingo. We got our +5 max stacks back. So I get my damage back. Still waiting for you to accept my friend request. You have to let me know what your gamer tag is. I don't know what your gamer tag is, Smallville5151, and I get friend requests all day long, every day, on all platforms. I have 80 unresponded to friend requests plus right now on PlayStation, and I just started playing on PlayStation. You know what I mean? I can't keep up with it. So if you just say, I'm waiting for you to accept my friend request, that tells me nothing. But if you tell me, hey, I'm xxglassgamingxx, I added you on PC, can you add me back? I will remember that and look for you and add you back. Because I can't add everyone. it's impossible. You know what I mean? I get added when I'm not even playing. People add me because they're watching and playing at the same time. Evil Elvis 55 on PC. GG. I will add you. Looks like I have a bunch from today I should add. But yeah, PlayStation is crazy. I looked at my PlayStation app and it said 80 plus friend requests and I'm like, how? I rarely play on PlayStation. What is going on? I love you guys though. I want to play more on PlayStation and that's why I'm playing tonight. I need to rank up my character. But I haven't been playing much because it's been crashing a lot on stream. It just crashes over and over. I crashed like 3 times in 45 minutes on stream. The first hour of my stream was just me trying to get back in the game. It was bananas. And I kind of rage quitted and was like, I'm not playing on PlayStation until they fix this. What's going on here? But that's not true. I'm definitely still playing on PlayStation. You're welcome, Smallville. GG. Hope to catch you in the game. Stream is also behind by 1 minute. Oh, really? Yeah, that happens. It's just the way it goes. I hope everyone's having a fantastic Saturday and that you're getting your grind on. Getting these legendary mods. Doing bounties. If you want to join the world I'm in, join xMsGLASSx. So you can join in on the fun. We're launching bounty hunts back to back to back to try to get the new mods. Yeah, I can already tell I'm doing a lot more damage. Those missing 5 stacks made a difference. I noticed something was up with this build. It just wasn't hitting as hard as usual. But that's why. One thing I need to do is take the time to clean out my inventory. Unlocked, custom fitted. I always unlock stuff like that, but never actual mods. Look, something else. Short scope. When am I gonna get my legendary unlocks? Not cool. Varger is me, Miss Glass. GG. I think I added you back. I don't have as many friend requests here on PC, so I added all the ones that were fresh from today, I guess. I think that's how that works. I know, right, Finn? He says, hi, you say that all the time, Glass, and you haven't. He means, like, cleaning out my inventory. I do say that all the time. I just don't have time to deal with this. Look at this garbage. Look at all this. What am I doing with it? I don't know. It will forever haunt me. I don't even take the time to learn this stuff. Friend request received. Did you know you can also increase your carry weight from suppressing mutations? That's right. Suppressing your mutations not only increases your carry weight, but in some cases will also increase your max AP. Depending on the mutation, it can reduce your strength. The negative side effects can reduce your strength or be like a negative to your agility. And by popping mutations, it opens up 3 points under luck. You don't have to run Class Freak, so it's also further optimizing the build. But the human version, I don't run suppressed. I run with Class Freak, it's fine. I try to keep it more dialed back, less hardcore for the everyday driver. And so that it fits more skill levels and playstyles, people that don't have the ability to craft all the mutations, which is totally understandable. It takes a while to get there. So that's why I wanted to upload this build a bunch of different ways. And so some of the guides have it showing with suppressed mutations, and some of the guides don't for that reason. It also aligns with the mods I'm using. So if it's like the Lucid Armor build that uses all 3 new legendary mods, Lucid, Elementalist, and Active, then that one is running a suppressed mutation setup. But if you look at the Human Commando build that doesn't use any of the new mods, that one is running Class Freak. And if we look at our mutations, we don't have any suppressed currently. And if we look at our carry weight, we're at 311. Let's look at value because that'll sort them all at the top. So Eagle Eyes, Herd Mentality are the only 2 I had. I would need more. I need to pop all my mutations to see a difference in our carry weight. Can I link the one I'm currently running? Yes, absolutely. That one is the one I just mentioned. It uses Class Freak. It doesn't use any of the new mods. I call this one the ultimate Human Commando build. You don't need to run any chems or coffee with it. You can run it with it if you want to, but you don't have to. The Vault 63 carbine, I was wondering if pinpointers or polished would be best, since conductors would not seem to make much of a dent in staying in VATS with that weapon. Yeah, don't worry about using that weapon in VATS. It actually really excels at aim down sights. So if you watch my video on the V63 carbine, that's how it's set up. I'm not using it in VATS. I'm not using conductors on it. So check out that video link I sent you. I'm using it aim down sights, and you'll see it works really well just aiming it down sights. It does a ton of damage, and it's not meant for VATS. That's why it has a super high AP cost, because you also want to stay within a certain charge level with that weapon. So being in VATS wouldn't be good for that, because it's harder to see where the charge level is, because that like whole UI disappears in VATS. But you might want to try that video link I sent you. Some perk cards may have moved around since that upload. It was uploaded in September, but it still works the same. Like, there's still, the framework is still there. The build is still going to work the same. Using it aim down sights is going to be your best bet for that weapon. GG, the usual beast. I would honestly go with pinpointers just to answer your initial question, because if you went polished, you have to keep an eye on the condition all the time, and it's gonna need a repair every single time you fight the boss. And sometimes it might break on you while you're fighting the boss if you forget to check it, which is just a big problem. And you lose damage as you're shooting the gun, because as you're shooting the gun, it contributes to condition loss, which contributes to less and less damage. Even though it shows a higher percentage value of more damage, like I mentioned earlier, it is a multiplicative damage on a weak point modifier versus additive damage. So what that means is pinpointers, even though it says, I can't remember now if it's 15% or 20% weak spot damage, even though that percentage number is lower, it does more damage than polished. Because it's a different kind of damage modifier. And what I'm going to do is I'll go a step further in explaining what I mean by explaining the difference between additive and multiplicative damage. GG! Jake Logan 2008, welcome to the Glass Gang. Okay, so additive damage is a type of damage that is added together before applying to the base damage. For example, if you have 15% from your weapon and 10% from a legendary perk, they add up to plus 25%. If your base damage is 1000, you'll do 1250 damage with a 25% additive bonus. Versus multiplicative, it's a bit different. The multiplicative damage type, this type of damage, it multiplies the total damage after additive bonuses have been applied. For example, if you have 25% additive damage and another 20% multiplicative bonus, it multiplies the total, not adding them together. So with a base damage of 1000, you first get the 1250 from the additive bonus, and then it's multiplied by the 1.25 or whatever the percentage is from the multiplicative bonus, in this case being 15 or 20%, I can't remember, for pinpointers, giving you 1500 total damage. So that's what it is. Basically, your damage is calculated at a different spot in the damage calculation. It's just different damage types. And this isn't a new thing in gaming, but it is new to Fallout in a way, especially the bullet storm and the stacking mechanics and all that. That's new to Fallout. We didn't have that until this year. We could stack buffs, but we couldn't stack stuff like Bulletstorm stacks as a damage effect that just applies itself while firing. You know what I mean? Or Onslaught stacks. It's not new from this year. I mean last year. It's new from last year. But yeah, so it's a bit confusing. I totally get it. But pinpointers is your best option over polished for that reason. It just does more damage. Do bounties drop 4-star mods? No, they don't, unfortunately. The only way to get 4-star mods is from either shopping at player vendors or doing the raids. The only way. Thanks for breaking it down. I'm gonna need to make some changes then. You're totally welcome. Yeah, it's definitely a common question, I'm gonna say. So don't feel bad or that you didn't know the difference between those two. A lot of people think that polished ends up being better than pinpointers because they see polished showing a higher value of 60% damage. And it doesn't say anywhere in the description that it's a additive damage or that pinpointers is multiplicative. But it is in the patch notes, or it was in the patch notes when it came around, so that's why we know about it, the differences. And you can also, I believe, ask Google. I think Google will tell you. It's smart enough to know that and tell you which legendary mods in Fallout 76 are additive damage and multiplicative. That's what I use to tell like which ones are when I'm not sure. It's actually smart enough for that, which is cool. I don't know if it just like looks it up when you ask it, if it like scours the internet and finds it in the patch notes, but it's bang on. If you ask it, is pinpointers multiplicative damage in Fallout 76, it will say yes, pinpointers is multiplicative damage in Fallout 76. Which is really cool. Although I wonder how long that'll still be accurate with how they keep changing stuff so often lately in the game. I don't know if that'll keep being accurate or if the AI will eventually just get confused with all the conflicting information and just start giving busted information. You know what I mean? But so far, it's on the money with pinpointers. Can't trust Google? I know, right? That's why you ask me. Just ask me, I'll tell you. I'm like your customer service agent for the build guides. I'm the only customer service agent at Glass Gaming for the build guides. Actually, no. Orange does answer questions sometimes in the comments, which is nice to see. GG, shout out to Orange. Dial 1-800, I have your build to a T and it doesn't work. And I, myself, or the Orange Cowboy will answer you immediately. I'm saving up Abraxo. If anyone finds clean Abraxo containers, bring them to me. I'll give you legendary mods for them. I just want clean Abraxo containers for my Abraxo camp. I sell Abraxo here. At my Abraxo unit. So yeah, we have some. Glassy, you're in the way. What the heck? It's not appearing anymore. I used to be able to just freehand this in there. Just zoot it down in there. The heck? That's weird. It's just like disappearing completely. Did they change it again? That's discouraging. Okay, I'm just gonna put it on the counter then. Perfect. I'll close up shop. There we go. Now we go to the bounty board. What you should be going with is Mutant, the one that gives you damage resistance. Permutations you have. I think it's up to 5 mutations you need. I can't remember. But I'll look at it here in the stash in a moment. But that's what I'll be switching to here in the next update because of the changes to a bunch of the mods. And oh, I don't have one. Oh, that's great. We're off to a good start on this character. It won't be a problem for my Xbox character, but these other characters that I play on other platforms don't have as much resources. This one right here. Mutants. Damage increases up to 50% as you gain mutations. Currently 50%. So that's your weapons. And on armor it gives plus 10 damage resist and energy resistance while mutated. I believe that's actually changing even more. New OE, okay, is gonna be this. Mutants. Changed from 10 DR per mutation to 5% damage reduction when you have more than 3 mutations. So if you see that little thingy on the screen that shows mutants, that's from the patch notes from the next patch coming in just a few weeks, or a couple weeks now actually. And that's gonna be changing mutants and overeaters. So mutants is going to go from plus damage resistance and energy resistance to a 5% damage reduction, similar to overeaters. I don't even know why they're doing this. It's literally just why. And if we look at overeaters, it's going to take a straight nerf. It's going from lowered the damage reduction from 6% to 4%. So it's going to be a 4% damage reduction instead of 6, so it's just a nerf. And also I included on this little stream card here that Aristocrats is changed to up to 10% damage reflection based on caps held, which is really neat because currently the way that the reflective armor builds work, if we want to maximize like our damage reflection, you don't want to be having a bunch of damage reduction. Because if you run troubleshooters with reflective, for example, you end up reducing the amount of damage you're taking from the bot, from EN06. And that also affects the damage you're able to reflect back, because that damage you're taking is being basically suppressed by the troubleshooter's mod. And so you're not reflecting back all that damage that you could be. But with the new aristocrats change, this won't be a damage reduction at all or damage resistance at all. You're going to take all that damage. So you're going to have to be very tanky with it. You're going to have to be smart and spam your stim packs in third person so that you can just spam them. But you're going to get a lot more reflection damage. And like, you'd be able to take down the shield pretty fast with this in theory, with a full set of aristocrats with 40,000 caps and a full set of reflective, because you're no longer, I know it only shows 10%, but that's per piece. And so that'll be up to 50% on a full set of armor. Plus the reflective 4-star mods, yeah, you're going to be dropping EN06's shield quick. It's going to be good for that. If you want to do a reflective build at EN06 and just solo EN06, it's going to be really good for that. Well, I guess I'll get these ready then. Glad to see I can craft them. I'll just run it now. Oh wow, it takes a lot of script, I just noticed, to change this armor set over. 760 script. Jeez, it's a good thing I have a lot. It's a good thing I have a lot. That's because I've changed the mods so often on this armor set that it now costs me way too much script to change my mods around. So this should be the last time I ever touch this armor set. I should just craft a brand new armor set next time. Don't do what you're seeing me do here. I just have a lot of legendary script, so I can get away with doing this, but 595 script to change one mod is diabolical. Okay, so we have a full set of mutants ahead of the next update. So this will be changed from damage resistance to a damage reduction of 5% per piece. So it's very similar to that 6%. It's better than the 4% that Overeaters will be giving us after the changes in the coming weeks. It's 1% better per piece. They're all going to be damage reduction, but the mutants is going to be 5% damage reduction per piece, and Overeaters is going to be 4% damage reduction per piece. So if you can swing it, if you can make the mods and change your armor out now, you might as well, because then you won't have to remember doing that when the time comes. I think I got one more bounty. Hey Glass, got some spare 45? Sure, join my world. Join and come and meet me here at the highway town. I'll drop you some ammo. Some 45 ammo. Come see me. Let me know what your gamer tag is too, so I know who you are. So I'm not just giving random people ammo. I can give you 20k. That's nice of you, Finn. There you go. Well, I guess I'll just run another bounty. Oh wait, there's an active bounty. Thanks, Miss Glass. You just saved me so much. I was about to go with OE. Yeah, I know. It's kind of heartbreaking to see what they're doing to OE, but I think the reasoning for it is because they want the Ghoul to represent the Ghoul in the TV show. Have you noticed how the characters in the TV show, they all are very down a path of personality? Meaning, like, it's like if you took Lucy, for example, and she has high charisma. She's a high charisma character. And then if you took Hank McLean, he's like a high intelligence character because he's a scientist. And then if you look at Maximus, he's a low intelligence character but high strength. You know, he's kind of ditzy and doodly, but he gets the job done and with just brawn. You know, and then you have the Ghoul, who is just kind of overpowered. Like, there's no other way to say it. He's just overpowered. He's the Ghoul. So I think they wanted to represent that in the TV show as well as the game and have the Ghoul be very powerful. And that's why you unlock Ghoul perks at level 50 and then you unlock the final Ghoul perk at level 100. There's no other perks as humans that you unlock that far up into the levels. I mean, so I really do believe that they intend for the Ghoul playstyle to be the endgame meta, which would make sense that Lucid is better. But yeah, Lucid will technically be the better damage reduction armor in the game because it'll still offer the 6% damage reduction, but it'll be locked to ghouls. So yeah, they'll have the best damage reduction and do the most damage. It's all right, right? It's totally all right. It's balanced, is what I'm saying, right? Right, gang? Right, glad we agree. Lucy also has a slight addiction problem now. Glass, is it cool to friend you so I can find you? My name is in game is Richie8472. Yes, absolutely. Do it up. Add me. Add xMsGLASSx. On PC. If you're adding me on console, add Miss Glass with X's, like 2 extra X's, so it's xxmsGLASSx on console. Lucy has a, yeah, I read that. Okay. It's hard to find conductors, and when I do, they cost abysmal. Boris, join our world if you're on PC. Someone is in this world selling conductors for 5,000 caps. I wish I was making that up. Luckily, it is one of the easiest ones to learn the crafting for, because what you want to do is just run the raid with randoms. Do full raids. Try to do full raids with randoms. I know, impossible task, I know. And basically commit your soul to it. Get the flatliner plan to drop. Learn how to craft the flatliner. Then craft a bunch of flatliners and scrap them. You will learn conductors. Take that information and go. Run. And have fun.
Wish I could see what's over the river, but it's way too dangerous to
Another
leave
army
town.
to defeat the Ruskins won. Best keep lying low.
King Shot, isn't Elementalist a second star mod slot? What? Anything to scrap for pinpointers? Anything to scrap for pinpointers? I don't think so, actually. I can't think of a weapon that drops with pinpointers. Maybe someone knows. You crafted 100 flatliners and didn't learn conductors? RIP. I crafted a bunch too, and I think I learned it after like the 40th or so. So it definitely took a lot, but that's how I learned it. Yeah, DT. Make sure that you equip, what is it, double, something that gives you the double crafting. Super duper, does that work with that? Genuinely can't remember, it's been so long since I did it. But yeah, craft away, scrap away. Super duper does. Okay, cool. GG. Thanks for confirming. I couldn't remember if it did affect weapons or not. Sometimes some perks like that are tied to like crafting chems or crafting foods. Didn't someone need ammo? Hi, Valkyria CR. GG King Shots. Exocomms, join up. I think I saw you were in here, so if you come to the bounty board at Highway Town, I'll drop you some ammo. Finn also said he could drop you some.
It isn't the big shot that counts.
Last resort's been getting real busy recently. Must be something special going on. Hey.
Send friend request. Are you Richie8472? I think this person did add from the chat, actually. I think I remember seeing the numbers for sure, 8472. Somewhere in the chat. Ow. Yeah, that would make sense. Crawfish Creative Media says, I've never had super duper dupe mods though, so I think they're excluded. I think you're right. I think the legendary mods are also excluded from super duper. Stalkers mod, yeah, I got nothing. How many do I have left? How many wanted posters? 19? Wow. I still have a lot. Holy cow. Smallville 5151. I don't answer personal questions. But no worries. Exocomms, GG. Here's some ammo for you. Just personal information can reveal my location and stuff like that, like you're asking me to, is just a big no-no. You're totally welcome, Exocomms. Is there another bounty already? Nice. Robco Games, GG, Happy New Year to you. Yeah, it says in the description, no personal questions, please. That's not... it's not cool. GG, Master Obi-Wan Kenobi! I just said Kenobi because I'm a Star Wars fan, but... Your Master Obi-Wan 3349 Glass Gang member for 2 months says, hello, Miss Glass. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for the membership. Yes, I'm doing well. How are you today?
Been down below. Stinks down there.
Reason sake.
The Force is definitely with us, Master Obi-Wan. We don't have lightsabers here, but on this planet, it's mostly just energy weapons that fire projectiles. But there is the plasma blade thingy on the Warglaive. It's like an attachment. That's pretty close to a lightsaber, I think, as it'll get in Fallout 76. Maybe that Enclave weapon, the plasma dicer slicer thingy. It looks like a bread slicer, but it has 2 green laser beams, you know what I mean? I forgot what it's called, but it's kind of lightsaber-like, but not really. Be kind of cool if we did get a lightsaber. I'd be down for it. We need like a Star Wars DLC. Yeah, the plasma cutter. There you go. The plasma bread cutter.
Doesn't matter. I'm going out swinging for this.
This is gonna be the last one, gang, and then I'm gonna go have supper. I want to thank everyone who watched this stream and hung out with me today on stream on PC here. It was a lot of fun. Got to answer some questions from viewers and about my builds on the channel. I'm gonna link the builds that were discussed in the description below after the stream ends. So check back like in an hour if you want to see those links. Yay, got the conductor's plan. Now I can finally stop praying to vendors to only see 40,000 cat mods. Thank you, Glass. GG, Boris Overlords. So you did unlock it from scrapping the flatliner. That's so cool. The RNG gods were with you today. That's awesome. That's gonna be it though for today's stream. I'm gonna be live streaming also tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on PlayStation, doing the same thing, running the bounties in Public Worlds. And I'm Miss Glass. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. GG! I want to give a massive thank you and shout out to the Glass Gang who support the channel. Thank you so much for the memberships today. KingShots89, GG. Everyone who received a membership, you might want to check out the links in the description. I left our Discord link if you want to find the rest of the community to play with. We have the Glass Gang in our Discord on every platform. Tonight's stream is on PlayStation and will start at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'll see you there. GG, gang. GG.